In a land where wealth was worshipped and poverty was mocked, one girl dared to dream beyond her circumstances. This is the story of Fiona, a girl who rose from rags to power. Inside the small clay house, Fiona's mother, Mrs. Nkechi, stirs a pot filled with white boiled rice. Her father, Mr. Madu, sits in silence, staring at their pot of white rice and his once strong face now lined with worry of how they can afford a stew for the rice. Mama Fiona, softly. My husband, should we not speak to your brother? Maybe this time, he can help us with some money since he arrived and still in the village. You mean Desmond? That man sees himself as a god. He would rather throw money at strangers than help his own blood. Mama Fiona sighs. Outside, the sound of car engines roars. The villagers rush towards the square. It was Uncle Desmond, Mr. Madu's elder brother, who is also very wealthy and arrogant. Uncle Desmond steps out of his expensive SUV, adjusting his designer upborder and gold wristwatch. His bodyguards clear a path as he throws a few naira notes to the scrambling villagers. Uncle Desmond was a man who measured respect by the weight of his wallet. He was family, but he was also their greatest oppressor. Fiona's father hesitates but then steps forward. He bows slightly before his brother, pleading. Desmond, please. Can you help us with the money you promised to help us with the other time? Desmond looked at Fiona's father like he didn't know him or what he is talking about. And Fiona's father, not minding his arrogance, went on to say. Desmond, please. I only ask for what is right. The loan you promised, it will help us set up a business or help Fiona continue her education. Desmond lets out a loud laugh, throwing his head back. The villagers whisper. Uncle Desmond, mocking. Education. Huh. What good is school to a man who can't feed his family? Ike, you are a disgrace. Always begging, always complaining. Look at me. I made it without anyone's help. Fiona watches from a distance. Her fist clench. A single tear rolls down her cheek, not out of sadness, but out of determination. That day, Fiona made a vow. She would prove that true success is not about wealth, but wisdom. The Madu's family continues to struggle on their own without help from their wealthy brother, and Fiona remained dedicated and focused on her education, and believing her dreams will come true someday. Days turned to weeks, weeks turned to months, and months turned to years. Fiona, now 21, steps off a bus, clutching her small bag. She has won a scholarship to a prestigious university, but survival in Lagos is another battle. With nothing but a scholarship and an unshakable spirit, Fiona stepped into the heart of Lagos, the land of hustlers, dreamers, and fortune makers. One fateful day, after frequent search for a part-time job, Fiona secured a job where she would work every evening at a local cafe. She became committed to attending lectures with intense focus and selling thrift fashion online too. This helped her support herself throughout her college years. Fiona, being so passionate about getting herself and her family out of poverty, now dedicated more time to her thrift fashion online shop. She learns about digital marketing, started taking some calculated risks, and soon, her small business, Fiona Locks, is born. One day, she records a simple video, "Look like a millionaire with a low budget." She uploads it to Instagram. Hours later, it explodes. Notifications flood her screen. Orders come in. Investors take notice. From a single post, an empire was born. The girl who once had nothing was now building something unstoppable. Meanwhile, back in Lagos, Uncle Desmond's empire begins to crumble. Fraud investigations. Bad investments. The walls of his wealth have started crashing down. Life has a way of humbling men who stand too tall. And for Uncle Desmond, the fall was sudden and merciless. His phone rings. Business partners pull out. Bank accounts freeze. He sits in his once grand office, sweat on his forehead. He is no longer the king, he is now a man drowning in debt. Finally, with shaking hands, he picks up his phone and dials a number he never thought he would, in a desperate voice. Fiona, my dear. You know we are family. I need your help. Wow. Fiona very shocked at the call. The tables had turned, but what would she do? If you were Fiona, what will you do? And what will you advise Fiona to do? Please drop your answers in the comment section. A grand event hall. The launch of Fiona Lux's headquarters. Well-dressed guests fill the venue. Cameras flash. Uncle Desmond sits among the crowd, not as a king, but as a humbled man. In the front row, Fiona's parents sit proudly. Fiona steps onto the stage. She is no longer the poor village girl. She is now a woman of power, a woman of grace. Fiona reads. Success is not about stepping on others. It is about lifting those who believed in you. And she turns to Uncle Desmond. Thank you for teaching me one thing, never look down on anyone. Because life is unpredictable. Uncle Desmond bows his head. He understands now. The crowd erupts in applause. Fiona's story was no longer just hers. It was a lesson. A warning. And above all, an inspiration. The end.